Everybody, Tom here with Hidden Beats, and today we are talking with Mr. David Wanless. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's great to get to sit and chat with you, and we're here to talk to you about you, your music, and the wonderful rock band Sven Gali. But for those who are new, can you give like a one sentence elevator pitch about just who you are?
Sven Gali, we are a bunch of guys that started with nothing and decided that living on the road and touring the world was the way we wanted to go. And on the way, make great music, and that's what we our endeavor was.
Yeah, I mean it's turned out pretty well. It's got a great sound behind you, and seems like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. We've been doing this for quite a while now, and just the evolution of the band over the years. Um, it's just getting very comfortable doing it now, and it's actually becoming a little easier, if you will. So we're enjoying it, enjoying the time, and enjoying making music with absolutely no pressure. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, back when the band started, how was it trying to balance being like the cover band and trying to put your own stuff into out there in the world?
Well, when we started, like all bands, we were in a basement and jamming covers to get our chops up and stuff like that. But it was very quickly we introduced new material or our material to our set. And I remember, back then, we were probably the first and one of the only bar bands that made the transition real quick and just only played um, our music. And just to get the music out there and, hopefully be seen by somebody who can take us down the road a little farther. Um, but when we got signed and we put a live show together, then we introduced a couple covers back to the show from where we started in our roots, which is a lot of fun to do.
Mm. And now we're this far into your career, and you have a new live album that you are releasing on the 26th of June, I believe, or 13th of June.
Uh,
Sorry.
yeah, 13th of June, Friday the 13th. It was recorded, I think September 13th, Friday, September 13th, and now we're releasing it again on a Friday the 13th, and it was live at the Mocambo in Toronto.
Mm.
It was a sold out show, and it was a great night, and we haven't played the Toronto area for quite a while, so response was great, and we had a really good time.
So, what made you pick that venue for like the live album?
Well, it was funny when we were talking about number one is the sound, number two is the intimacy of the venue,
Mm.
and number three is this small little rock band called the Rolling Stones did it there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so we just jumped on that.
Mm. Now, when you're putting together like a set that you're going in with the idea of a live album, how hard is it to pick and choose like how you want to have it laid out?
Um, well, we basically just played our set that we played, during that summer. We are starting to introduce the Bombs and Battle Scars record, but for the live record, we went right back to the roots and played everything off of Svengali,
Okay.
and added a few of the off of In Wire and Bombs, but we just picked. We have a couple alternatives that we have ready for sets, but that night everybody was feeling just a little aggressive, so we went to the aggressive side.
I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a fun night that way too.
Oh, it was a great night. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We killed it. The bit. I'm a very fortunate singer that I get to sing for such a good live band. They're great players.
Mhm. Now, you as a vocalist, is there anything interesting you do before a performance, like to get yourself in that zone?
Um, well, I'm obviously but before we get out there, I take care of myself. Uh, I take care of myself just to feel right and take care of my throat and stuff. Um, but I'm not I've been told I'm not the best guy to be around day of shows, and my family will tell you that. I'm just like I just get into a zone, and I get very short with people, and I don't know what it is, but that's what I do. And it's funny because I remember, and I'll say I don't think I'm the only guy who does that. I remember when we were on the road with Def Leppard back in the day, and I was sitting side stage with the singer from Ugly Kid Joe, and we were watching the bands. Sorry, let me get rid of this. And we were watching the bands play, and Meatloaf came on,
Yeah.
and at the side of the stage, I saw Meatloaf just getting worked up, and he was like losing it on somebody about stage room or monitors or something, and he was getting right worked up. I'm going, oh my god, this is all going to go south. But when he walked on stage, it was like he mesmerized everybody, and he broke into that slow song, that hit, I Would Do Anything for Love. And it was such a cool development to see that happen, and for him to take that and transfer it to his live show. It was amazing. Like, I was like blown away, and I started thinking, I go, I think I'm kind of the same way. I get a little amped up before we go on. The guys kind of stay away from me in the dressing room.
If it helps you put that masterful performance out, I suppose it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I guess everybody has a different way, and that's just my way.
Now, you guys started out back in the 80s and we're kind of into this new digital world. I'm curious, how do you think like music and everything has evolved, and how's your music evolved coming into the new age that we're in?
Well, you know what? I know we tried to not lean on it super heavy because, quite honestly, I've just watched it go from in the studio when you're, slicing tapes together
Hmm.
in edits, and now all you do is just throw a vocal track down and they tune it up, and or they tune up the guitars. Everything gets tuned, and we try to, and I think in some way it kind of makes it loses something
Yeah,
in a bit. So we try to find that balance where we try to keep it, that live feel, but obviously take advantage of technology today also, and everybody does it.
there's so much out there now too, it just makes it almost impossible not to try to pick some of it up.
Yeah, and it's and it for the amount of time we've been doing it, and seeing the evolution of recording blows my mind. I'm just wondering if what it would be like if the bands from back in the day, like way back, had that type of technology, what that music would sound like.
Well, is there anything that you've thought about maybe revisiting now and try to maybe remaster some stuff or just kind of see how it comes out?
Yeah, we were thinking about redoing a couple songs actually from back then. One song that we're going to play now live off of Bombs and Battle Scars was a song that we recorded in Seattle, and it's called Hogs, and that's on Bombs, and we were considering going back in the studio and redoing that song, but we're going to play it live coming up in these shows that we got coming up.
I think
It's a
that.
cool song.
Yeah. Now, what's the most interesting thing you've learned about yourself going through your career that you kind of didn't expect you would learn?
Hmm, good question. Um, I think what I've learned is I was and not to sound like I have an ego or anything like that, because I definitely don't. But I put a lot of pressure on myself for everything I
Yeah.
do, and I think when I look back, I would say to myself today that you're not as bad as you think you were. You
Okay.
know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was that at times I'd criticize myself to death, and I think today when I look back on it, going, it's I think we all do that. We all look at ourselves pretty hard in the mirror
Mhm.
at times, and I do that with everything, projects and whatever I do. It's just the way I am. But I would say I'd give myself maybe a little bit more credit than I gave myself personally.
And I think it's kind of the moniker of every creative to criticize your own work and to really think about how much you could be doing better or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's you listen to your tracks over and over and over, and sometimes you need that guy in the room, that engineer, to say, Dave, you got it. Just walk away from this.
Mhm.
Or you're gonna start losing the feel. You can overdo it too much.
Is there any of like newer stuff, like newer technology, newer influences out there that you've really enjoyed trying to put into your music now?
Um, well, like I like the what I do enjoy, I tell you, is like on the live side. Like, we used to go up there and not hear a word we were playing. Like, even on the bigger shows, like back in the day, '92,
Mm.
on the Def Leppard tour, there were big stages and you can barely hear I was singing. But with the advancement of in-ears, you know,
Yeah.
and like, you know, all the drum sounds, the guitar sounds, everything, it just I got a really nice mix in my head now. So it's more pleasurable to play live on those stages.
Hmm.
Whereas back then it was challenging at times because, you know, you're just an opening band and you throw your stuff up there and go, right?
Yeah.
So that was the challenge because we always took pride in our live show and our live sound. So now we've got it really dialed in, and I'm pretty happy with that.
What's some of the most fun you've had out on the road touring with some of these big bands and playing some of these live shows?
I think you learn real quick that we're all just people. You know, we all came from the same basements and bars, and you know, the mode of transportation definitely changes, but I had a lot of fun on the Def Leppard tour. We on our first show, the singer of Ugly Kid Joe. We were young guys. He was woke up in the morning on the bus and at a venue, and I forget where we were, but I woke up to the singer jumping on the bus and throwing stink bombs down the alley of the tour bus.
Yeah.
Just like fun stuff like that, you know. We had great times, and you know the people in each of the cities very welcoming all the time, and we were happy to go back to people's homes for parties if they're having a party, and get to know the people along the way. And we were you know, we just had a we were really good at one thing, and we were really good at having a good time on the road.
I mean, that sounds like a great time to me. I was born in '84, so I'm just a little bit young for coming into your guys' music, but it sounds like a fun time to go and have a party.
Yeah, it's so much different back then, you know. So much different. I mean, I look at it, I almost feel bad for the kids today with all these cell phones, and I go to concerts now, and all you see is cell phones in the air, and I tell my son when we go, put that thing down and just stand here in the moment.
Hmm.
You know, just check it out, listen to that music, close your eyes, listen to it. You know, you don't need to relive it again. Just you know, just turn that damn phone off.
Yeah.
But that's what I see a lot of.
Yeah, I see that too. Like, so before I started doing interviews, I was a photographer. I get out and shoot the live shows and cover and review them and everything. And you turn around now and it's just cell phones as far as the eye can see sometimes.
Yeah, I know, and I yeah, geez, I mean, yeah, and you're always careful. Like it's you never know when there's cameras everywhere all the time of everything, and you don't want to say or you know accidentally say something that could be held negatively, if you will, against you, even though it never ever intended that way. I've had a couple of friends that's happened to, and um, so it's weird. It's just different times today.
That and like social media, everything can get everywhere really quickly.
Exactly. And then personally, I'm not on social media. Like personally, I don't have any Facebook, Instagram, or any of that stuff. I did a long time ago, but for me, I just found it such a time sucker. And I'm not, you know, I'm interested in people, but I don't need to know every time they go to the washroom. You know what I mean, or stuff like that. I just don't. I don't care. I don't care about their dog and you know and all this stuff. So I just I got off it totally, and I think I'm better for it that way.
Yeah, I think that's the way a lot of people are going. I'm in this industry and I still hate using social media. So
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong; like it's an amazing vehicle for businesses but but I guess what I should say is used properly. It's really good.
oh, for sure. I don't do a lot of personal stuff at all anymore, and it's the business side of things. It's great. It's opened a lot of doors, and it's got me to have a conversation with you today, really.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you
So,
can't knock it.
yeah, on the back half of my interviews, I always ask some fun questions, make you think, and you'll probably have some interesting insights to some of these. My first one, my favorite one, is what's one thing you think should be asked more in an interview that's not asked enough?
Oh my God, you asked some good questions. Um, Let me see. What haven't I been asked over the years? Um, that has been asked enough. Oh, God, you got me there. I think um, I think diving more deep into the relationships of the band members,
Okay.
um, stuff like that. I mean, I don't get asked a lot about that type of those type of things, but because they're pretty intricate. Like the relationships within bands, it's kind of like marriages. It's such a weird thing. Everybody has different sides of them, and you get, especially living on a tour bus, you get to know that and see it. Um, so just trying to understand everybody's emotions and the way they are, keep things cool, just like a marriage. That's the funny thing about being in a band.
Well, that's actually one of the other questions I had is what is it like interacting with the guys on a day in and day out basis?
In the beginning, when we were young, we were all pretty, I'm not gonna say aggressive, but we had an opinion, and we wanted our opinion heard back then. And even in the studio, at times things can get a little, heightened or dodgy. But now, as we've grown older, and we kind of, well, you mellow out, and I think I wish I had that when I was younger. It just improves the relationships and the morale, and some of the stuff that they say, or that is brought up is good stuff, and
Yeah.
we don't let it pass. So I would just say, I would say that, if I could back then, I'd like to be the way I am more now, and I'm just kind of more mellow and accepting of different things and thinking things through.
And I think that's a great thing that comes with age. I find myself the same way. I'm a lot more easygoing where like I had an anger problem when I was 20 and I would do crazy.
Yeah,
It's nice
yeah,
to have that kind of a smooth sailing type of situation.
yeah. Oh, I think that's in all of us. I see it in my son. I mean, my own son. When he's got something to say or he's got an opinion, he doesn't veer from it. And I said, buddy, in about 20, 30 years from now, you're gonna go, okay, okay, I'll listen to you.
Yeah.
That's that's cool.
I'm waiting to see that in my daughter. She's 2.5 and she has an
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Congratulations. That's great. They were the best years. I tell you, they were the best years and the most inexpensive years, because as they get older, oh my God,
Oh
they
yeah.
get crazy.
I know how expensive like my hobbies and stuff are, so I can only imagine as things get, going a little bit more with I have two kids. I have the 2.5 and a 7-month-old.
Wow.
So it's gonna be
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah. And you're in full control. I have a 25-year-old daughter who just graduated. Now she's a nurse. And my son is on a soccer scholarship in the United States in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And now they tell me what to do.
Yeah, I'm telling
So
my mom what to do. So
yeah,
now
it's awesome.
a fun one. If you had to introduce your music to somebody for the very first time, just to sell them on who Sven Gali is, what's the first song they have to listen to?
Wow. Well, I guess I'd have to say, Under the Influence.
Okay.
I'd have to say that that's a signature one from the first record. Um, but if you dive deep into to Svengali, and you can hear influences like I back in the day, I still am. I've always been a Jeff Tate fan, Queensryche.
Mm,
I met him for the first time in about, I think it was 94, 95. And I've always been a fan of Queensryche, but we listen to everything.
yeah.
Like you would be very surprised some of the bands and like the stuff that we listen to, like really mellow stuff, just all kinds of things. And but I think to get the true, like, to get the grit of the band out of the influence, but then we can go right to the far other side of it, and you can listen to Love Don't Live Here Anymore, which is a ballad.
Okay.
Um, so we're a bit of everything. If you like rock, and we're a bit of I would say we're a bit of everything, if you will.
Under the Influence has been one of my favorites, so I can definitely see why that would be a good starting point.
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
Now, if you had to look back at stuff you guys written in the past, is there anything that has a new meaning today for you?
Um, wow, buddy, a
Make
new
you think
meaning.
today.
You're making me think. You're good at what you do, bro.
I don't even think I'm good at what I do, to be honest. So,
um, New meaning. You know what? There's a couple songs. There's songs where you'd write the lyric, and you'd write the lyric, and you would sing it, it all made sense and stuff, but it didn't really hit home till a few years later. You know what I mean? Of what the song meant or what you were thinking. And that's something that's kind of neat. And to give you a total example right now, I off the top of my head I can't, but there's different there's different things that different lines or something I would say, and then I reflect later on it and go, why did that come to my head?
Hmm.
You know, it's a weird process, writing lyrics for me anyway. Um, but yeah, I go through that a lot. Actually, I'll go, well, that's a cool line, you know. So, but to give you an exact song at the moment, I don't have one right now.
Yeah, that question kind of came to me after I had my daughter and I was listening to music and thinking back of like, oh, well, this used to mean something different to me, but now I'm holding her, rocking her at night and like bawling my eyes out because it means
Yeah,
so much different. And it's like, holy crap, where did that come from?
yeah, yeah. It's music is a cool thing. It brings out a lot of emotions. It relieves stress. It does so much for you, and I don't know what I'd do without it. Like at my house, there's music's playing 24/7, and it's just not me. It's my whole family enjoys it. You know, it's always on, always on.
I made sure to set up so in our house here we have like surround sound speakers in every room that I'm in. So if I want to play it in somewhere else, I can transition to that
Yeah,
room, keep going.
awesome. That's great. That's good. I
Now,
got the same thing.
yeah. Now, an important one I think is what do you hope people take away from your music as a whole?
I just relate to the different time periods. Something to just to rock out to, get a release from the everyday stresses of life and how tough it is today, especially. Just to take yourself away and just have a drink and rock out. We're not here to change the world. We're not like this big political thing, but we like to just think of ourselves as a hard rock band that likes to have a good time and gets and releases you from everyday bullshit.
Mhm. Now, on the second side of that, how do you see your music influencing up and coming bands?
Um, I get a lot of when we're on the road, we get a lot of rock bands, like the rock side of music, enjoying the grooves and appreciating the playing and stuff like that. As I did to the bands that were ahead of me. So I think we all feed off each other, and I'll say at the same time, there's a lot of younger bands that I listen to also that are younger than us, and I go, that's cool, and and they're they you can see how they fed off of bands that were ahead of them. So I guess we all kind of share, I forget the name of this band. It was this young band. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but when I was listening to it, I'm going, that's so Deep Purple.
Okay.
It's so cool. It's so Deep Purple, and so we all listen to, I think everybody like yourself, you probably listen to a ton of different music and certain things will find its way into your music or your life.
Yeah, like so I people wouldn't expect I have a playlist of just cello music for when I'm trying to relax with my daughter or how like that's when she's going to bed,
Ah,
play cellos.
cool. That's like Andy for our guitar player. He's into all that stuff.
Yeah, I went to see the two cellos. They do covers of all kinds of different stuff and saw them live. The most insane show I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when they're
That's
playing
great.
things like AC/DC on a pair of cellos, it's like, all right, you can't help but love it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just everything crosses today. Like you everything crosses all over, and it's neat. It's like, remember, like back then, it's either you like rock or you like this or you like that. But today, I go from Post Malone to Anthrax to Corn, to REO Speedwagon.
Yeah,
Like
it's great to be able
I'm
to.
all over.
Yeah, I love that. It's the same as me. My one playlist is literally every genre you can probably think of.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just like my house.
Now, fun one. Who plays you in the movie of your life? And I guess who plays you and the band members?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God. Who plays us? Who plays me? I have no idea. You got to be a bit crazy. Um, who play me? I don't even know. I would say I have know what this is. I have no clue. I think Keanu Reeves.
Okay. And it's nice because he's a rock star too. So
Yeah, yeah, he's kind of chill,
yeah.
kind of a chill guy. Keeps to himself in a way, kind of like me, I guess. So maybe I'll go with that for now.
Okay. No, I can appreciate that. All right. Now, two more before we're done here. What are some of the next milestones you're hoping to hit now that you've dropped or got a live album dropping? Anything else coming up?
Yeah, we have we're doing so we did a cover for Triumph, and we had Gil and his wife in the video.
Okay.
And we've been working on two others with two other acts that you'll know. And I'm not allowed to really say anything at the moment, but we're going to be covering uh, their tracks.
Okay.
And so that's the next thing that we'll have recorded and hopefully be out in October next year.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, while that's going on, we got two shows with the Killer Dwarfs coming up,
Nice.
and there's talk about other festivals and stuff like that. So for me, I just like to go jump on a bunch of festivals again, and then and create some more music.
Yeah, I think that'll be
Simple.
all right. And the last one, most important one is, are you happy?
Am I happy? Yes, I am very happy. Um, a lot of people, I think, in our industry, back in those days, it's hard to so okay, so back in those days, you know, the early 80s and late 80s, there was a lot of drugs and booze and partying. Like it was some like when we lived in Los Angeles on the Strip and Sunset, the Whiskey, Rainbow Room, all those places, it was like people just beat themselves up.
Mm.
And I've seen some people that never really made it out of it. And but I'm fortunate to say that we came out unscathed, if you will. We all are successful in our own right. Um, we all have great families. We're fortunate for, and we get to continue to get together and make music, and we appreciate our wives and girlfriends for supporting us and allow us to do that because it does take up a lot of time still. And now my kids are older, you have a little bit more time. It's nice to sit down and write something. So yeah, I think all the guys are in a good space. We're all pretty happy guys. And again, we made it out unscathed. Where thank God we were level headed on the way through. Um, but yeah, I think in general we're all good. We're all good.
Oh, that's good to hear. Is there any
Yeah.
final words of wisdom or advice you'd like to leave to anyone?
Words of wisdom. Um, well, I would say if I was to share anything, I would say in life it is not to sound cliche, but it's such a roller coaster. On personal side, on maybe your business side or your career side, everything's such a roller coaster, and there's some pretty great ups and there's some pretty bad downs. And the key for me that I found, because I've been through it all and we've been through a lot of shit, is I just take my highs in life and my lows and I take everything right down the middle
Mm.
all the time. I don't get too down when things are south because I know in time things turn around. And I don't get crazy when things are great because I know things will turn back. So I stay down the middle, and I find that helps me with respect from people. Like, people don't see me as like some kind of ego guy or whatever. When I just try to play down the middle and be solid.
No, I like that. That's kind of a nice way for people to live, I think. Just try to keep on a nice steady path.
Yeah, and that is the key because when things get really bad or things get bad, you can go down a dark road, and if you just stick with it, get up every day, push forward, it all comes around. It all comes around.
No, good words of wisdom. I think a lot of people need to hear things like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, my friend, this is all the stuff that I have written down here. Is
Cool. Well, it was
yeah,
great to meet you, and I enjoyed your interview. I wasn't expecting that, so thank you. Thank you for perking me up.
I appreciate that because, like I said, I don't feel like I'm good at this sometimes, but I try my best to make it interesting.
No, you did good, man. Thank you.
So we're gonna make sure we link everything, Sven Gali album, all that stuff in the bio for the video here, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys perform live one of these days.
Yeah, there's talk of us coming out to Ottawa again.
Okay.
So, but you know what? If you hear anything, you know, please stay in touch. You have my info, and I'd love to hook up with you before the show. That'd be great.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
All right, we'll sign off, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, buddy. Go kiss those kids. I'll see you later.
Thanks. Bye now.